The days that followed the waitress's first encounter with Richard Halloway became a battlefield of wills, for while most women had crumbled beneath his sharp tongue and impossible demands within hours, she remained steady, not because his words did not cut, they did, each insult landing like a lash across her pride, but because she had weathered storms far harsher than his cold glares, storms of abandonment, poverty, and betrayal, storms that had left her pregnant and alone, clinging to survival. In a city that had no mercy, and so when Richard would sneer, "Do you even know the difference between Burgundy and Bordeaux, or are you just another amateur they dragged off the street?" she would answer calmly, explaining not only the differences but recommending the precise vintage that matched his meal, and though he would scoff, she noticed the flicker of surprise in his eyes, as if he had not expected intelligence to come packaged in humility, and when he barked, "You walk too slow, I don't have all night." She adjusted her pace not with fear but with the grace of someone who had once danced before her dreams were crushed, and the staff began to whisper in corners, marveling that she had not yet fled, that somehow she endured the verbal daggers that had broken stronger, prouder waitresses before her, and as she returned home each night to her tiny apartment with peeling paint and the soft echo of loneliness, she would place her hand on her belly and whisper to her unborn child, "We are going to survive this, because I won't let him win." But what she didn't know was that Richard's cruelty was not born entirely of arrogance, for behind the sharp edges of his demeanor lay shadows of his own past, scars carved deep when betrayal had nearly destroyed him, and while the city saw him only as a ruthless millionaire, inside his mansion at night he poured himself whiskey after whiskey, staring at a portrait of a woman with hauntingly familiar eyes, the one who had once carried his child before. Tragedy had snatched them both away, leaving him hollow, bitter, and determined never to let anyone close again, and so when he looked at the pregnant waitress, part of his fury came not from her mistakes but from the memories she stirred, the ghost she unknowingly resembled, the reminder of a chapter in his life he had buried beneath money and cruelty, yet here she was, pulling those memories to the surface, and the conflict within him grew sharper each day. Should he destroy her like the others to protect himself, or was fate demanding he finally face the pain he had run from all these years? And as tension mounted in the restaurant, with the staff betting in secret how long she would last, and customers beginning to notice the unusual calm in Richard's treatment of her compared to others, a dangerous game began, one that neither of them could predict would spiral into revelations, betrayals, and choices that would change not only their futures but also the future of tea. Imagine walking into a glittering restaurant where millionaires dine, only to hear whispers that no waitress survives more than a week under the same man, America's rudest, coldest, and most